world, creative-wise, you know, the goal for us is to control our own destiny. So we'll be able to prosper through 93, 94, and 1995.
So, what is this?
Yeah, so this is G Touring. It's a Japanese AE100G.
It's probably one of the only ones in Ireland.
There's not that many knocking around. They're kind of quirky, so this came with the 5AFE 1.5. And then somebody swapped in a blacktop 20 valve. So yeah, I bought it there, I think, the start of this year.
Yeah. Is it the 5-speed, 6-speed box, or what is it?
It's got the 6-speed box.
It's a 6-speed box?
With an LSD.
No way.
It's hilarious.
It is the ultimate Corolla. We're definitely suckers for two-tone, as you can see here. What's this then? This is your other...
what's this? KZN 185, so Hilux Surf.
Yeah.
Third gen. People like these here as well, but you don't really see too many of them.
Nah, and then any of the Hiluxes we had went to Africa.
They're basically the same chassis as like a 90 Land Cruiser Prado.
How long have you had that?
I think like three years.
Yeah,
now.
and use it for towing and...
Yeah, towing. I don't know, like it used to work perfectly, and then I lifted it up and put stupid tires on it, and now like my dog is 10 and he can't even get the boot. So it's like,
both of these are the dailies.
yeah, they're sort of like, they're in regular use, I suppose. Yeah.
We're here to look at a bunch of old Toyotas. The weather's a bit shitty, unfortunately, but that hasn't stopped us anyway. I've wanted to call up to Mikey for ages and show you his white Levin, which he's had for 3-4 years.
I think it's like 5 years.
What? Oh man, time flies.
Imported it from, what's the name of the place? Koizumi Auto. You know, the pink car factory eye.
Yeah.
It's her brother.
Yeah, the other shop. Yeah.
So it was like direct from a dealership, which is weird. So like, it was cheap. It was quite cheap for what it was, even for like a dealer car. But yeah, like it had its issues for sure.
So it's kind of just been a project for you then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like when I got it, I obviously enjoyed it for a while. I was like, wow, Corolla or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't really, like it had like the run free.
Yeah.
It was like cool, but like not really like
not what you wanted. Yeah.
But I knew I sort of had to do the rust and stuff like that, so I took it off the road, bought a welder, and just sort of started cutting.
You've done everything that I wanted to do, but I fucked myself over by making a YouTube channel and a progress build, because if I was filming me fucking around and making mistakes on the car, half the internet would just fucking hate me because I really and I'd hate myself then. Yeah, if I like had all this video then I look back and I was like, oh god, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so
luckily I don't have it.
Yeah, secretly I wish I just did it without all these videos and just, you know, that was the fantasy, but whatever, we are where we are. So can I ask you then, why the 86?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about them, isn't there? It's obviously like the Japanese stuff, like drifting, but then, like, to be honest, it was all seeing like people in Ireland do it, like you know, like Killian and Kevin and stuff like, and just seeing like that style of car ripping around Mondello was like, holy shit! Like, those are like, it doesn't just
it's the coolest thing ever.
Doesn't just exist in like a fucking Japanese magazine. I don't really know. There's just like an aura or something.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to explain.
And like, then even like, I don't know. Even when you drive them, like, I wouldn't say they're underwhelming, but like, sort of like, okay, is this it? Like, but I think when you sort of put a little bit of work into them and maybe drive them properly, they're just absolute magic. Like for me, it was like when I stripped it apart and put everything back together, sort of refreshed, and then did a track day, I was like, this is just
Yeah.
the greatest thing.
Yeah, and you kind of grew with it then because, you know what I mean? I just seen, you know, put your own take on the car and then bring it to as many days. And, you know, like, it's just been a learning experience, both like working on it and you're driving and stuff. It's fucking, it's everything I kind of like live vicariously through what you're doing because that's kind of where I'd like to see myself with my car in a year or two. Obviously, I went down a full fucking black hole with the restoration, which I didn't intend to do, but whatever. But I do want to have a car like this that I, you know, have a lot of memories with and drive the shit out of. Like, that is the style, like chunky wheels, flared arches.
Metal flared arches. Main spec rear bumper. Good line front.
Yeah. So yeah, like Killian and fucking Kevin, I guess, were the first to get there with that, with building that stuff, and they absolutely nailed it. Yeah, because Ireland was getting spoon fed so much of this fucking cool shit, and I think it overwhelmed a lot of people that they didn't even know how to process it. So
like, nobody really knew what to do.
Yeah, like we're just getting, like, every car came in with a genuine good line fucking bumper and like fat with Tanabis, and like the coolest 86s were just flooding into the country. And like, yeah, I just think we were just like completely overloaded with all this cool stuff. Is this one the TBO one? Or yeah. What the people call them there, the hot dog hood. Came in with interior, so you've kind of just left it alone.
That was like one of the things I wanted. It was always like a road car.
Yeah.
And like something that would be like sort of semi-pleasant to drive on the road. Okay, it actually came on like this driver's seat in a random bucket seat, which is actually in that car now. The red.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what we were wondering. I wonder how red it was the day it came out of the factory, because you see the fucking magazine shots of it, and it's like blood red.
That's it. Like, I'd love to get these, like, everything redone.
Yeah.
In like the.
I'd say it was nuts, man. Like, it must have been super fucking red. No catch. This is the original engine that came in the car.
Yeah, so it's like stock, big Porsche. So I don't know, what do they make, like 120, 130? Stock ECU, pretty much stock everything. With the 4.7 that was in it then, like, it's quick. Like, I put the 4.3 in it now because it's a little bit nicer to drive on the road. And it definitely has lost some of that pep, but like
4-branch truss
it
oil
came
cooler.
with like a full Fujitsu stainless system, which is what's on it now. And like, it sounds
it's gorgeous.
It sounds perfect for a road car. Like, I guess what, hot air intake. There's no oil cooler in it, so. Yeah,
I was going to do the same. I was thinking of where to mount. That's actually a nice spot. I was either going to do it there or down fucking there.
The battery out of the way, TRD shocks and inserts all the way around. So I got, when I refreshed it, I bought like all new shocks, which was like, it was nice. And like, they're not that expensive.
No, they're not. Like, the struts, the inserts are like what, like 140, 50 quid or whatever. So
I mean, it's pretty low. It's TRD blue springs at the back.
When we were following you up the mountain to take fucking pictures and shit, like, I mean, it is low, but it's fairly functional.
So these are, I think they're 7 kg springs up front.
Okay.
Which is like, there was 8s in it, they're now in this car. It's so much more comfortable with the 7s. Like, it's like a good balance of like
reliability
looks,
and
drivability, simplicity, like, because it's like, okay, it's like a stock engine, like we've been talking about getting carried away with engines and stuff like that, but like, I've done like, I think I did like 13 or 14 track days in this car, and like, same gearbox, same engine. They changed the alternator, stuff like that, but like.
What do you reckon? You will go down the rabbit hole with an engine for this?
Yeah, I think so. I've like there's some small port stuff over there. That's This sort of did become very track focused when I was doing lots of track days, and then it sort of got to a point where it's like, right, I have to commit to this being a track car, or like, cause like, like you have to get rid of all the glass and stuff like that as well, like, cause it's just a good bit of weight, and like then it's like, do I want to jump in that and go for a speed?
And then that's the thing. Like, this is, you know, a car that you like going for fucking driving and getting some and just looking at it at a petrol station and going cool. And then if you fully committed to turning this into like a full on track car, then you probably would have been a little bit bummed out then that you can't just.
I don't think it's like a conscious thing. It's like, am I going to be keen to just want to jump in the car and go for a drive? Like, do you know what I mean? And like, you're not necessarily making that decision consciously.
That's why you built this car. This is the shell that I was going to build that we pulled out of the container in episode 1. I really wanted to call up to Mikey because I think it's fucking hilarious that he built that shell into a car. It's pretty amazing that it's a real car now. I sold the shell, or I gave the shell back to Brian, and then he figured out what he was going to do with it. He gave it to Josh, and then Josh sold it to Mikey, and then you actually built something out of it, which is hilarious because if it stayed with us, Josh wasn't going to do anything with it. You turned this around really quickly, like, I mean...
No, I was like unbelievably naive in taking that on and thinking that I could do it that easy.
Because in fairness, because it was never going to be a road car, it's grand because it's just rough and ready, like. But that's my... I've said it before on the videos or whatever, and we definitely like that style. Like, you know, when you're in Japan and you see something that's quite raw and it's kind of fucked together, and we can't really do that here because the cars are like starting to get really valuable and stuff. So you can't just have such a disposable car. So
and it's like a lot of Corolla stuff here. It's like it's about us making them as nice as possible.
Yeah,
and like it's very hard to not fall in.
Yeah, I know
to that
exactly because it's such an Irish mentality to have something that's mint and well put together. And people look at stuff like this here and they're like, why is it like this? And that's what I intended to do with this car, was to build a 2-door levin pretty much like this. I wanted something that was pretty much what you've made, so I am quite jealous.
It's nice that it's like it's very much like a mash of parts. These are USDM kooky lights,
right?
Because I was like, I know that they're just disposable over there, and I was like, I bet you I could pick some up for like the cheaper than I could pick up white lines over here or whatever. There's like this yellow boot lid. It's the lightweight edition. I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh yeah,
it's just like painted over.
Oh, that's great, man. But I'm fucking jealous because people would have hated me if I build something like this as my main car. But it's like, you know, this is your track car, so you get a bit of buzz out of just fucking like whatever parts onto it.
It's something that I love about Corollas is that like they can be like rough. I always thought about that car. Like, to be fair, like that car is kind of cool, but like it's not like a mint car or anything like that. Yeah. But I sort of love that about Corollas. Like they can sort of be like a bit trashy and still look like still look so cool. This is like taking that idea a little bit extreme, but like I think track cars should be like that as well.
Yeah, because you want to jump in and just enjoy it and not worry too much about the cosmetics. Exactly, and these are your wheels. The front ones came in on your car, did they? Or the boats?
Yeah, so these were like the first set of wheels that I actually bought for this car.
Oh right, I thought it
came on 15s and like semi slicks. It obviously done some like circuit work, and it's always just 14s for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though I know it makes no sense anymore. I actually bought these off used in.
Okay then, right. How long did it take you to build it?
I don't know.
It was quick enough though, wasn't it?
It might have been like maybe a year.
Yeah.
From when I bought the shell, but I did have a lot of stuff already.
Yeah, and you didn't do any. You didn't bother fixing any of the rust or doing any tune. Did you do anything like that with it and stuff? Like, it wasn't too bad. The shell is like, you just left it as is. It's just stripped.
Yeah, the only idea is like welds, some seam welding on the floors and in the engine bay and stuff as well.
And this engine was kind of destined for this. That was
that was the idea when I bought it, and then that engine just didn't die. So I was like, it'd be a real shame to take that out. So and then I bought the shell off Josh. I was like, well, I've got the engine there, you know. All I have to do is get a gearbox and then a rear end. I'll have a running car. Yeah, it's obviously not that easy.
That's what I thought as well, though. That was my logic. Like, this is fucking... It's going to just come together so quick.
Yeah, the naivety.
Yeah. And you got that engine then for cheap enough. You found it on...
Very cheap. There was like I guess like a chap who had one in a Mark II Escort in his rally car, and he had this on the shelf as a spare. And then eventually he changed to... K series or an F20 maybe in his Mark II Escort, so he didn't need a spare anymore. So I saw like a ropey potato picture on Done Deal and just started messaging this chap. He turned out to be an absolute gent and got it for very cheap, which like
is unheard of now, because in the space of the time of you getting these, they've gone from being like 500-600 euros to like 1,500-1,600. I think we sell them for even more, so that's probably brought the price up as well. Again, super basic. You kept the original distributor setup, original ECU. It's super, just, I mean...
Yeah, just the bare, like...
A bare formula, but that's exactly what you need for just a fucking raw...
It's like a budget thing as well. Like, I didn't want to be sinking a lot of money into it. And like, if I had the money, it would have been nice to move the distributor out of there and everything. A sledgehammer.
Yeah, but in a way, by doing this formula on a budget and stuff, I know like we don't intentionally mean to replicate exactly, but this looks exactly like something you'd just see at Nico or at some track day, and some fella's like, I pulled it out of a ditch and like I fucked this engine in, and you put the little PIA lights in.
Cool,
yeah, cheaper than buying the fog lights as well. You know what I mean? Because how much are they now? Like fucking 400 or 500 quid, or but they look so cool. I said, like that's great, man. Yeah, like just.
And I guess they came off like a bike or something like that. And I originally bought them for the Jeep.
Yeah.
And then I got them and I was like, oh, I was expecting them to be this size or whatever. I was like, what am I going to do with those? And then one day I was sort of just looking at them. I was like, they look about the right size to fit in.
Yeah.
Fit in where the fog lights go.
It looks fucking so cool. Then you've obviously, so late spec front bumper, early spec lip, is it? Yeah, it is. Mirrors then, what do you want to tell people what they're off of? Or do you not want to?
I don't really care. Like,
so on both cars then, what are these off of?
Fiat Seicento.
Yeah. That's fucking brilliant. And that's the other seat then that came in that car, was it?
Yeah. It came in the passenger seat.
Right.
Which was kind of funny, but
yeah,
super base. Like you don't really need it.
No, this is everything you need in an 8.6 track car. So what setup is this then? This is a 4.7 at the back, and
so the 4.7, just T50 gearbox.
Yeah, that's all the stuff I was going to get around to doing to it, but the fact that it's just
I love how it's like you can see where you sprayed epoxy.
Yeah, I was getting ready to. Yeah, we're going to go down the rabbit hole. Like, when I sanded the inside of the shell, man, you should have seen how fucking rusty and bad it was. And I got in, I scotched the whole thing back, and I fucking cleaned it all up, and I was getting it ready, hoovered it out. I spent so much time trying to make it look a little bit better for me, because I was like, oh Jesus, I'm in over my head with this fucking thing.
It's got a good story as well.
It does. It's so funny that this is the shell that I fucking was going to do, but I'm delighted you did it, because it would have just lived just on a fucking shelf or something down in Waterford for another 5 or 6 years.
Well, to be fair, you told me that you sold it to Josh, and like I said to you, if he ever wants to sell it, I'll take it off him.
Yeah.
And then like a month later, he was like, "Do you want this?" And I was sort of like, "Fuck, I guess I sort of have to buy this."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a car. I guess it came at the right time, because that car was sort of having a bit of an existential crisis.
And now you have the dream setup of any 8.6 enthusiast. Like, you've got a 2-door levin fucking track car that you don't have to worry about as much, but still looks arguably as cool as the other car. And then you have a really nicely sorted road car with full interior, nice, still quite reliable 8.6 that has creature comforts that you can enjoy. So you have the best of both worlds.
Enjoy a little bit more anyway.
I hope you enjoyed seeing my first 8.6 as an actual car. It's pretty cool to come up and check out Mikey's stuff. I mean to do it for a long time, especially the fact that he's actually built this into a car now. So, more cool 8.6s hidden in sheds in Ireland. Any plans for this, Mikey? Just keep driving it?
Yeah, just more track days, just more driving.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I don't know, maybe the only thing it actually needs now is like it's got a very just like a weird collection of exhaust parts welded together.
Yeah.
So it needs like a proper 60mm stainless all the way through. So nice exhaust, but apart from that, just keep on driving.
Yeah, and then just enjoy that as is for now, and then
I don't know. There's probably some long-term plans for that, but
no plans to get rid of any of this stuff anyway.
No.
Think we're in this for life. We're broken.
It's not going anywhere. There's probably like, I don't know, in a few years' time, I don't know, there's probably like a house deposit or something on these, but like, I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
Once you have somewhere to keep them, I think like you're laughing, because they're not costing you any money or anything like that.
Well, I already I'm joking about that, because a lot of my friends, I guess, were similar age, and they're all going off doing the house thing now, and I'm like, oh bollocks, like I just poured the deposit of my house into a fucking crusty 80s Toyota.
Now you have to do it again.
Now I have to do it again. And then again. I was like, I'll buy a house in my like late 30s or something, fuck it, whatever. We're not our parents' generation, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know, we just didn't buy houses, we bought Corolla.
Yeah, don't follow us and make shit life choices, or do, because we're having a good time. Right, I'm going to leave this here because we'll fucking talk forever, and hope you enjoyed this episode. Pretty cool to come check these out, and see you soon, guys. Goodbye.